Well, I got into watching hockey because of my father, obviously, which I think is pretty much everyone's story in this country. Me and my brother grew up watching the Canadiens in the 70s. And, you know, even though Vancouver had come into the league, it was pretty difficult to kind of identify with that when you'd grown up so much, you know, identifying with that team in that era. And I guess really I've just kind of remained a Habs fan my whole life because of it.
Inner center, Lafleur with a burst of speed, works through, shoots.
How can you have a favorite player off that team? You know, I mean, you've got Shutt, Lafleur, Cornwallier, Robinson, Dryden. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. That team's was, you know, it's one of those teams where I don't know that another hockey team will ever be assembled. You know, and you have memories of it too. Watching someone like Guy Lafleur go end to end, it's just like, come on. I mean, you just want to put on a Journey or Boston when you see that man in slow motion. More than a feeling, just start it. Just put Guy on with the hair. It's, yeah.
Here's a break for shot, in, score!
I've always really had a soft spot for Steve Shutt. His helmet, remember he had that helmet? I don't know. Things are weird when you're 9 years old, man. You know, I don't know. I just like that guy. I like his last name. I just, you know, hell of a slap shot. I don't know. There was something about it. There was just a greatness to it that, you know, kids in my neighborhood, they didn't want to wear Vancouver Canucks jerseys. They wanted to wear Montreal Canadiens jerseys, so.
Here's Newman, the backhander runs goal. Messier scores, number 3 for the Rangers.
94, I did follow it, you know, and that was a heartbreaker. There's just something about the franchise that bothers me. I just don't know, you know what I mean? It's like the Montreal Canadiens have basically not really changed their uniforms. Just like the Leafs really haven't changed much about their uniforms in decades. How many bloody uniforms have we had since we, you know, came into the league? The irony is, of course, our original ones were the best. You know, I think it was the Village Voice that they had a write-up at one time about the original Canucks logo being the best sports logo ever made. You know, New York Yankees fans, the logo on their hats hasn't changed in a century. You know, and they still do more merchandise than anyone. As kids growing up, I had a hard time identifying with the team. I mean, you know, we were in the green, white, and blue to begin with, and suddenly we were dancing around and you know, we look like we're supposed to be in a Blondie video or something. And I don't know, it's like a secret cabal of really bad graphic artists secretly own the Vancouver Canucks, and there's no tradition to it. And that's important in sports.
Not a good night for Vancouver. First, their hockey team loses, and then the aftermath.
People are stupid. People are stupid when they're drinking. Did it shock me? Not at all. Why should it shock me? What's the difference between that and spring break? Except that it's televised, right? Because if you allow that to get away, people would start flipping cars and lighting them on fire too. It's just a hockey game. That's the thing about it, you know what I mean? We lost. Okay, we lost. Lame. It's a hockey game, you know? Are there Tomahawk missiles falling near your house at all? You watch your neighbor's kid get blown into 50 pieces yesterday? No? No? Well, then you don't got it rough. And I know it's a very terrible thing to ask people to put anything into context. But can't you put that into context? And it all comes down to comprehension, because we can't comprehend it, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't, I don't know, show a little freaking character and maybe understand that that's pretty, you know, impermissible given what goes on elsewhere.